Hey everyone, welcome to this new moon / weekend Sidereal Astrology report for June 3rd through the 5th of 2016. I'm Athen, and this is for Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out the link because the signs are different. All right, everyone, so I am still down with the cold here today, so please bear with me if you hear me sniffling or coughing. But let's go ahead and go through this like we normally would. So we do have this very powerful new moon this weekend, and it's a very rare type of new moon, which is forming this grand cross in the sky that a lot of you have been hearing me talk about, leading towards this weekend. So this is important because this type of configuration does not happen very often. You know, to have the planets in this exact four-way square aspect to each other. And this is involving the four fixed signs of the Zodiac: Taurus, Aquarius, Scorpio, and Leo. And these four signs all have to do with our desires in life, okay? And particularly with the new moon in Taurus, it's on our ability to attain those desires, the ability to attain what we value in life, all right? And with the new moon in Taurus in particular, there's new values arising. And so it's an excellent weekend for sitting with this. Really asking ourselves what we value in life. How can we cultivate our values in life? Maybe set some intentions with this. And in this Grand Cross, it's an excellent time to challenge ourselves to do that. And ask ourselves, where can we challenge ourselves to attain these things that are close to our heart? That we want to attain, that are our values. And go within to really access our natural gifts and our natural abilities, which is Taurus. Taurus is our natural selves. It's the gifts that we're born with. And as we go in, we notice that everything that we want, everything that we truly value, is attainable by using our natural gifts and our natural abilities. And that's where our values line up with nature. They line up with us. So, like I said, it's a great weekend for that, especially because the new moon is going to be conjoining up to Venus, really emphasizing a new shift of value. And I think, too, with that, our relationships will be going through this new type of change, and it's because our values are changing. So new relationships, perhaps for some of us, our existing relationships will go through a change, and I think that's some great things to also consider. Is where can we have this? Where can we plant some new seeds with relationships in our life that are in alignment with these new values? So that's the Taurus concentration. Now, in terms of these other signs, they're all very important here. In terms of integrating them. Again, the Grand Cross is all about integration. How can we bring in these four very seemingly different areas of life and unite them in the center? Unite them as one. Because that's what's being asked of us right now at the moment, is to integrate these different energies of self and utilize these different energies of self to build and to concretize these foundations that we're building for the next 30 days, for the next year with this new moon. So in terms of Neptune, this is Neptune in Aquarius, which is about the uncertainty. All right, so I think a big part of this new moon is about working with uncertainty. And this could very well be about the future because Aquarius is very future oriented. It could have to do with the world, right? What's unfolding in the future with worldly things. What's unfolding with our community. These kinds of things, there's a lot of this haze and fog if we try to figure it out. Even in terms of our aspirations, what are our true aspirations? We're not quite sure. And so with the uncertainty about the future, it's all about with Neptune being present. And as we connect to that present moment, then we access that peace. We access that faith, that trust, that tranquility, which really arises through being, being in the present. And as we work on this, because again, the square is requiring the work, as we work on ourselves spiritually here to be present, then that peace, that tranquility can really arise, and that becomes a very powerful support to these new beginnings that we're cultivating with our values. Now, in terms of the Saturn side of it, this is Saturn opposing this, which will be very important. And this is Saturn in Scorpio, which is the balancing point to this new moon. Now, Scorpio is about the non-material values. This is everything that we value beyond the material world. And the quality that Scorpio really helps us cultivate is intimacy. And this is intimacy with ourself primarily, right? But then likewise, it's intimacy in our relationships and through our work and through our home and family life, etc. But the key is, in order to develop that intimacy, is to open up. And this is all what Saturn's helping us do, is open up and accept. And so the more willing we are to do that, again, starting with self, open up, accept, then this very powerful healing energy is taking place with Scorpio, the spiritual transformation. And with Saturn, these things are being built, because Saturn and Scorpio is showing that only the things that are based on intimacy and openness can be built at this time. They just have to be based on that truth. And they have to be based on what really matters to us in life, and that connection. So it's an excellent way to challenge ourselves here with Saturn, is to see where we can put in that work to get results with intimacy, with openness, and to really go beyond the material world. But we don't want to just get caught up into Saturn. If we go too far into just the transformation, into the healing and all this, it can be very, very densified with Saturn. All right. Likewise, we don't want to just go into the material world and enjoy these new values and set intentions without, seeing beyond the veil. All right. So it's a balance of both. And I think particularly with Saturn, a balance of healthy responsibility, healthy patience, particularly with these uncertainties about the future, being patient, and having a healthy amount of that discipline of willing to take things one step at a time and cultivate these values. Now, the Jupiter side of it, which is going to go within orb, particularly over the weekend, because the Sun will be squaring up to Jupiter as well as Venus. This is about the possibilities, and it's actually quite nice to have a benefic involved here, but it's still the square. So basically what this is that we have been this year seeing the possibilities with our self-expression, how we can express ourselves more, how we can cultivate these things in our life that we either consider fun or joyful or playful, really accessing these qualities of self. And so as we become aware of these possibilities, that it really is the year for us to be cultivating these things that are close to our heart, it's about walking through those doors. Jupiter by himself, the door just kind of presents itself, and we may feel too lazy, we may feel overly optimistic, we may not walk through those doors, but it's important that we do. And this is where the square energy comes in, is to walk through those doors of opportunities to really cultivate the values of the heart. And so this is the different values here, all right? And it's all with these new beginnings, with exploring more about what we personally value and perhaps what we truly value in life, and how we can go within, access that self-reliance, access that sense of self-worth to cultivate those things. All right, so that's the Grand Cross in a nutshell. That's the new moon. And as you can see here in the transit graph, these are all the aspects, basically everything we just covered, with a few minor lunar aspects with this, if you guys want to have a look at that. But the new moon will be at 23:36 Eastern Time, Saturday night. For most of us, right on the cusp here between Saturday and Sunday. And like I said, as we go into next week, that's when we really start to take the action. So I think it's a good weekend to still sit with this, to kind of set those intentions, maybe write things down. And then as this lunar energy builds momentum as we go into next week, there's more of that action-oriented stuff, and a good time to start putting this into motion. All right, so I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all on Monday.